says in the comments, if he beats Hearts on Sunday, all will be forgiven and forgotten.
Yeah, it would be, because Rangers fans would then look back at the league table, see the gap down to 2 points, and they're right in the thick of it again, and they'll have inflicted, a bloody nose on a Hearts side which has been leading this chase for many a week now. So it probably would be. I don't think it'd be totally forgotten, because there would still be some Rangers fans that would think, well, if we'd won at Fir Park, then we'd currently be sitting top of the table. But that's just the nature of the thing. If there are loads of twists and turns still to come, then the Motherwell one might just be looked back as a bit of a footnote, because do you know what? There was another twist when Celtic went there and when Hearts went over there. And if that's the way that this pans out, it's pandemonium between now and the end of the season. But if this turns out to be the week that Rangers blew a one goal lead away to 10 men at Motherwell, on the back, as Scott said, some questionable decisions made by the manager, and back that up by losing on their home ground to Hearts and falling 8 behind, that stuff won't be easily forgotten or forgiven. And I know what Scott's saying. I don't think there's any, there's a groundswell of opinion putting pressure on Danny Rohl, but there might be. If this is to be the episode, the kind of 7-day or 5-day stretch that effectively puts Rangers in a box where this title race is concerned, and it's another case of close but no cigar FC. Rangers fans, I don't think the vast majority of them will be prepared just to say, well, it was good while it lasted, it was a good effort. And especially not, and this is the question I want to ask Scott, I especially don't think that's the case if Derek McInnes goes on to win this title. And I just wondered, would that put enormous pressure? Albeit he's had a good first season, a reasonable first season to date. It could be a special first season for Danny Rohl. Let's not forget that. But if Rangers were to collapse here on the back of 2 results over the space of a few days, that the manager's decision-making has been suspect, and if Derek McInnes goes on to complete the fairy tale and wins this league with Hearts, where does that leave Danny Rohl?
Well, I don't think it would obviously put him under pressure, but I mean, you could argue he's under pressure every day of the week.
But if Derek McInnes does it, isn't there going to be a lot of Rangers fans out there saying, well,
wish they went and got him?
Oh, not that they should have went and got him, but is there a possibility that they still might be able to in the summer?
Take a lot to
get. And if they could, would they choose Danny Rohl or Derek McInnes at that point? That's just, I know it's speculative. I know we're talking about something that may or may not happen, but it's just an interesting thought. I wonder where that would leave the whole debate.
Celtic need a manager as well, Keith. Maybe Derek McInnes. Maybe Celtic will go for Derek McInnes. They need a manager too.
Listen, I wouldn't rule out Jens Bertolascu.
I was going to come to that. I'll let Scott answer, but I was going to mention that I can see him being a Celtic manager. But anyway, sorry, Scott.
No, I was just going to say it would take a lot to get Derek McInnes away from Champions League Hearts. You know what I mean? If they go win the league, I don't think he'd be going anywhere. Look, no matter what happens, Danny Rohl will be the Rangers manager at the start of next season. I think that's pretty.
No matter what happens.
Yeah, no matter what happens, Danny Rohl will be the manager of the Rangers start of next season. No matter what.
But Scott, I'm picking up vibes here from Rangers fans that are really angry about what happened at Fir Park last night. Really angry about the team selection. Really angry, and not without some justification, I have to say, that they've been watching a team all season that's the biggest Achilles heel has been the lack of invention and creative players in the final third. They don't look like scoring goals from open play. That's been the issue. That was the issue which Andrew Kavanagh then throws the kitchen sink in an attempt to resolve it in the January window. And they go to Fir Park, a place where nobody's scoring goals, by the way, since October 18, the last time they lost a league goal there. They go to Fir Park, and after throwing the kitchen sink at it and spending money and getting the fans excited with the quality upgrades, to then leave them out for that game. I know that you've touched on this, but I think that if I'm Andrew Kavanagh, I'm probably looking at going, wait a minute, what was that all about in January?
I totally agree. I mean, they go to Fir Park where teams are struggling to score. and you pick a striker who can't score, basically. It just didn't make any sense. I mean, by the way, Danny Rohl said there, Ryan Naderi had a bit of a knock after training, right? But I would argue Majowski's even in better form than Shamiti. And Majowski hasn't been great, by the way, by any stretch of imagination this season. But he obviously get his goal against Queen's Park. In general, as I say, Shamiti's been out for a few weeks. Majowski would have been a better bet. I think Majowski tucks away that chance that Shamiti gets in the first half to make it 2-0, for instance. I mean, that chance just summed up Shamiti. No composure whatsoever, no calmness in front of goal, no natural finishing ability. I mean, obviously, you're watching the game live. You know it's a big chance, but it's only when you see it on TV again. That is a simple finish, honestly, for a good striker. It's a simple finish into the keeper's left, low down. But instead, he just lashes
left low down. You could lob it over the top of him. There are about 3 or 4 different ways to take that one. The option not to do was the one that he took.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Jack, what you're saying about the fans being angry. The other thing they're angry about is, and this is probably a kind of bigger picture, there's a real feeling amongst Rangers fans naturally that for years now that these players and managers, but these groups of players constantly let them down. They almost tease them with threatening to go on a title challenge, threatening to go and win trophies, and invariably they let them down. And that was the overriding feeling, I think, for supporters last night. They got into that Motherwell game thinking, what a week for us. This is the week we really stamp our authority on this title race by going to Motherwell and winning, and then beating the league leaders' Hearts on Sunday. And after 75 minutes, they're a goal up, Motherwell are a man down. The Rangers fans are thinking, here we go, performance hasn't been great, but if we go out here with 3 points, you go into the Hearts game on Sunday. And all of a sudden, and by the way, at the same time, they know Celtic are drawn at Livingston, 1 each. And all of a sudden, again, it flips. Oxlade-Chamberlain comes on for Celtic, gets a winner against Livingston, and to rub salt into the wounds, an on-loan Celtic player goes and scores the equaliser against them, and the whole thing turns on its head. And the Rangers fans leaving Fir Park, of course they're thinking about team selection and decisions that get wrong and performance. But the overriding feeling is, here we go again. These players are letting us down again. When it comes to the crunch, when they really need them to turn up, you have to say in the recent years they haven't done it, and I think that's what they fear. People spoke about the lack of atmosphere at Ibrox a few weeks ago, and Danny Rohl had a wee go at the Rangers fans after I think it was a Kilmarnock game. There was some jeering at half time, even though they were 1-0 up, but the performance was poor. And we spoke about it, Daniel, because there's a lack of trust there. These fans fear the worst constantly because of what they've had to suffer in terms of lack of trophies, lack of challenge. And the biggest fear for them just now is, I think, and this is a road that I'm sure Danny Rohl isn't going down, but some of his comments maybe makes it sound like that's the case. It's almost like Rangers feel as if they're grateful to be in the title race, as opposed to actually being in it to try and win it.